Boulder Dash here. Hold on a second. Let's see if I just mess something here. Sergeant Boulder Dash here with some March Madness predictions. I've got my bracket all filled out, and I'm ready to give you my predictions. Alright, just give me a second here to readjust. So, first game we have Virginia versus UMBC. I am going with UMBC. That is no USBS. Creighton versus Kansas City. Creighton is going to clobber them. Next we have Kentucky versus Davidson. I'm going with Kentucky. Arizona versus Buffalo. Buffalo. Miami versus Chicago. I'm going with Chicago. Tennessee versus Wright State. Going with Wright. Now, Nevada versus Texas. This is going to be an interesting game because Nevada is using a golden retriever. You know, there are no rules that say you can't use a golden retriever on your team. You can't. There's just, you look in the rule book, there's no rule that says dogs can't play basketball. So that's what they've got. They've gotten this golden retriever that will just move the ball down the court with its nose and kick it up into the basket. So I'm going with Nevada in their golden retriever. Next, we have Cincinnati versus Georgia. Another interesting game because Cincinnati, their fullback is a werewolf. That's right, they've got a werewolf on the team, and that's going to help them greatly. Moving on, we have Xavier versus North Central, Texas so-and-so. Anyway, one of the team players has an old pair of Larry Bird socks, and this gives him magical powers and has a performance equal to that of Larry Bird. Well, barely Larry. Next up, Xavier, because, they got the Larry Bird socks. Next up, we have Missouri versus Florida. Florida has a woman on the team who's pretending to be a man named Guy Manley. So Florida will advance to the next round with this pretender. Next, we have Ohio State versus South Dakota. I'm going to say North Dakota wins it. Follow that up with Gonzales versus UNCG. Going with Gonzaga. Houston versus San Diego State. I'm going to go with San Diego on that. And Michigan versus my favorites, Montana. Hate to say it, but I think Michigan's going to win that. Texas A&M versus Providence. Well, this will be another interesting match. I see that one of the players on Providence is not going to stand during the national anthem. His team's going to back him up. And Donald Trump's going to deport them all. So Texas A&M is going to win by default. North Carolina versus Lipscomb. Lipscomb, they're using Ghost, who, are helping them win the game. So I think Lipscomb's going to win it with their spiritual cohorts. Next, we have Radford versus Villanova. I'm going with Radford. Next, we have Virgin Tech versus Alabama. I think Virgin's going to get it. West Virginia versus Murray State. Another interesting game because West Virginia has turned their entire team invisible. So no one can see what they're doing, so they're going to win that. Wichita versus Marshall. Oh, who the hell cares? Florida versus St. Bonaventure. Bonaventure's going to take it because they made a pact with Satan. Texas Tech versus SF Austin. So we got Texans versus Texans. And I'm going to give it to Texas Tech because they're playing their hearts out for little Jimmy, who was in the hospital with cancer. A little kid named Jimmy Dipper. He's got cancer. Texas is going to win it for little Jimmy. Win one for the Dipper. Arkansas versus Butler. Going with Butler. Purdue versus Fullerton. Purdue. Kansas versus Penn. Seton Hall versus North Carolina State. Going with Seton. And Clemens versus New Mexico. Going to go with Clemens. Auburn versus Charlton. Well, Auburn's team is completely comprised of robots. So Auburn's going to win that. TCU versus Arizona versus Syracuse. And we're going to give that one to TCU. Michigan State versus Bucknell. Going with Bucknell. Rhode Island versus Oklahoma. Going with OK on that. And next up, we have Duke versus Iona from Idaho. And all I got to say is, fuck Iona. Of course, Iona wins it. All right, moving on to the next round. Focus. UMBC versus Buffalo. I got Buffalo on that. Let's see, Chicago versus Cincinnati with their, well, let me rephrase it. Let you know what. Oh, I'm sorry. Chicago versus Wright. Chicago wins that. Sorry about that. Good luck with that, Chi-Town. Okay, Nevada, they've got their golden retriever. Cincinnati's got their werewolf. The werewolf is going to eat the golden retriever, so Cincinnati's going to take that. Xavier, we got Barely Larry versus Guy Manley. And the kid with the Larry Bird socks is going to win it for them. So, win for Xavier. Moving on to the next round. Okay, so one of the Dakotas, I think it's West Dakota versus Gonzaga. West Dakota is going to take it. Interesting thing about West Dakota, their state motto is West Dakota, because 2 Dakotas ain't enough Dakotas. San Diego State versus Michigan, another win for Michigan. Texas A&T versus Lipscomb with their Ghost, and the Texans are going to beat out the Ghost. Come on. Radford versus Virginia Tech, and the Virgins take it again. Next we have West Virginia with their team is invisible. That allows them to beat Marshall. St. Bonnie with their Pact and Satan takes on Texas Tech, beats them. But Butler, I said in the last one. Oh, no. Who was the legitimate one? Oh, yeah, it's Texas Tech. Reason they lose that, remember in the last game, they were playing for Little Jimmy. Well, Little Jimmy dies, so they don't have the heart to play, so they lose that. Little Jimmy dies. Okay, Butler versus Purdue, we're going with Purdue. Penn versus Seton, I'm going with Seton. Clemens versus Auburn with their robot team. Once again, the robots take it. TCU versus Bucknell. We're going with Bucky here. OK versus Iona. Once again, Iona wins that. Fuck you, Iona. Round 3. Focus. UMBC takes on Buffalo. I got Buffalo for that. Chicago versus Cincinnati with their werewolves. Once again, Cincinnati takes that. Let's see, Xavier with its Barely Larry versus East Dakota. And whichever Dakota's playing wins. You know, Larry Bird Sox can only take it so far. Michigan versus Texas, Q&A. Q&A takes it. Let's see. Focus. Okay, so we got Virgin Tech versus West Virgins with their invisible team. And the best of those Virgins wins. Which is the best of the Virgins? I don't know. St. Boniface, playing with Satan versus Purdue. And the Satanists take it once again. Seton versus Auburn and the Robots. Robots with another victory. Bucky versus Iona. Once again, Iona wins. Fuck you, Iona. Moving on to the next round, we have... Focus. We have Buffalo versus Cincinnati with their werewolf. And once again, the werewolf gets hungry and eats the team mascot, breaking their spirits. So Cincinnati wins by werewolf eating Buffalo. Okay, next we have... Focus. Sorry about this, folks. Oh, we have Texas versus whatever Dakota is left, and one of the Dakotas wins. Moving on, let's see. Focus. God damn it. The best of the versions versus those who are working with the Prince of All Lies. Once again, Satan beats out Purity with St. Bonaventure taking the win. Auburn Robots versus, Iona. Fuck Iona. In this case, Iona does get fucked over, and it is Auburn with their robots. Okay, so what we got now, we have Cincinnati with its werewolf versus... Focus. God damn it. I don't know what... New Dakota. And Cincinnati takes it. So next up, we've got Satan. We have Satan versus robots. Devils versus robots. And the robots take it. Final match. Auburn with its robots versus Cincinnati with its werewolf. And the werewolf beats out the machines. And there you have it. My picks for March of Madness.